This is the Andrew Lake podcast, and today we're talking about Jamie Oehlers, the album You Are Here, which he recorded with his double drummer group on the Jazz Head record label. Jamie Oehlers is an Australian jazz musician who plays tenor saxophone. He has been nominated for ARIA Awards multiple times. And in 2003, he was the winner of the World Saxophone Competition held at the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. Jamie has released many albums with many prominent worldwide musicians. Of course, he's played all over the world, but all those sort of textbook resume points has nothing to do with how incredible this guy's music is. This guy is the forefront of modern Australian jazz fusion. And this album that we're talking about today, You Are Here, gets the best of all the worlds of Australian jazz and marinates them all together into a steaming pot. So in Australian jazz, there's a couple of standard schools, such as the minimalist textural school, which is most prominently known to be pioneered by the Necks. And how the textural school works is they do layers which flow in and out of each other, and they have different times and different textures and different sounds, and they all merge and they all mix, and there's not really a definite beat often. There's multiple meters, there's multiple shimmerings of sounds. And then you've got your hot jazz bebop, like your Bernie McGann sort of style, which is straight ahead swing and more traditional in its jazz style and its chord changes. And then you've also got the free jazz musicians like Scott Tinkler, who venture out into dissonance and dirtiness, and they're always trying to push that comfort level and really challenge the listener in how dark they can go with their harmonies and their melodies and their tones. And this album, this fusion jazz, I guess you could call it, You Are Here album, has all these aspects to it. Because it's a double drummer group, so you've got Simon Barker and Ben Vanderwal, both prominent jazz musicians in their own right, who have done countless numbers of styles and albums and creative and original music. And they're playing together in a textural way. And you've got James Muller and Sam Keevers on the rhythm section, which is guitar for James Muller and Sam Keevers on keys. And that huge sound, that huge fatness in the rhythm section fleshes out the line between texture and bebop, creating this beautiful synthesis into fusion jazz. Jamie blows over the top of this with this huge sound, this amazing tone. Avalanches of air resonate out of his saxophone, and all these different melodies and all these harmonies and all these intricacies just burst forth. And he's not afraid to get tender. He's not afraid to set you down and give you a rest every now and then. And it's just incredible how powerful this sound is and how explosive the different kinds of music come together into this synthesis. So this album, You Are Here, was recorded in 2006, and it's still as fresh and as bright and as amazing as it is today, as any Australian jazz today. So it's really stood the test of time. And Jamie, I hope you don't mind me playing some music from it, because I really want people to hear the music speak for itself. And unfortunately, we do have to degrade it down to MP3 format. So if you don't like me talking about it and presenting it in this way, then I'm happy to take it down. But people need to understand this music. People need to hear it, because it's just mind-blowing. It's so overwhelming. And I really want to say how much this music has touched me and how important it's been to me over the years as I've listened to Australian jazz. So this is the first track of You Are Here, which is a double disc album. and this is Just Out of Reach. Session 2 of the You Are Here double disc album has Scott Tinkler as an addition. And I think we should listen to the title track. I haven't listened to the second session as much as the first, but it's quite hard to surpass how many times I've listened to this first session 1 disc. But we really should let Tinkler have his moment because he's an incredible musician in his own right and fits well into the textures of this band. And it adds a whole nother dynamic to having the trumpet there. And hearing him go off on this title track, man, it's just beautiful. It's just incredible. So let the music speak for itself. This is You Are Here by Jamie Oehlers. I've seen Jamie play live a number of times in a lot of different configurations, which is quite normal for a jazz musician to bring different lineups to their tour over years. But most notably, I saw him with this incredible jazz pianist named Tal Cohen. And the touch, the sensitivity, and the richness of this guy's harmonies hit me when I heard it. And if you want to hear some more jazz style and traditional style playing from Jamie, then I recommend you look up Jamie Oehlers and Tal Cohen, because these guys have a strong connection and a deep, rich understanding of the jazz idiom and the jazz history, but bring it out with their own personality, with their own flavors. And the touch of this guy's piano playing is really up there with a lot of the heavy musicians that I've heard. I haven't heard anyone quite as young and as quite as up and coming as Tal Cohen in a number of years, and I've heard a lot of Australian jazz musicians coming through the ranks. But this guy really stood out, and it's a testament to Jamie for identifying young talent and letting them flower in their own right. Of course, Tal Cohen is now his own musician with his own creative projects, so it's not an all leader sideman sort of dynamic. But if you want to hear some more jazz styles, really check out Tal Cohen, who's a beautiful piano player. The last track I'd like to play is Wayne's World, which is the second track on disc 1 of You Are Here. And on this track, they get a little bit funky, and James Muller is able to stretch out his guitar solo, and he takes it down, he takes it up, he goes through, and he makes it dirty, he gets down with the grime, and it's really funky, and everyone's on board with it. And there's this thing in jazz music, which is when a musician takes a solo, and it's a burner solo, the person who is soloing after them has this pressure. It's sort of like a rap battle with whoever goes first or whoever goes second has an advantage. So when James Muller burns this solo out, there's a huge expectation on Jamie Oehlers to step it up and match this energy. And in this song, there's this great twist. And I don't want to give it away, but they twist it and he kicks it into gear. He smashes it into gear. And Jamie does this thing in jazz music, which is quite a common structure for jazz solos, which is to climax. So some jazz solos are more consistent in their explorations of ideas, and they just go through different permutations and developments on a consistent level. But every now and then, a jazz musician is allowed to make a overarching solo, which builds over the entirety of the solo. And in this one, Jamie just takes you all the way up. It is just up, and then he takes you straight up to the stars, and then you come flying down like a bloody rocket, shooting through the atmosphere, and they land smack bang on the head, and you are just resolved. And oh man, wait till you hear this. Listen out for these things as you hear Wayne's World by Jamie Oehlers. Oh, man. Did you hear that? Ah, as if that doesn't just blow your head off. Face melting. Whew. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. This is the Andrew Lake Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out Jamie Oehlers. Jamie, I hope you don't mind me presenting this music. And we'll be back soon with more.